Peaches, it's Shaaba. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another video. I hope you're well. I'm serving you a whole lot of pink today, which is appropriate because pink is close to red and red flags is what this video is all about. Before we go into them though, I have a quick message from today's video sponsor, Pride Counselling. Thank you very much for sponsoring today's video. Now I know these videos are fun, but the reality is red flags like this can put people in some seriously sticky situations, and if you would like to talk to someone about a situation that you may be in, Pride Counselling could be a great resource for you. They provide private online counselling specifically for LGBT+ cuties like you. As you know, I've been using the service for over a year now and they've really helped me out. And it's so great to know that all of the counsellors on Pride Counselling are LGBT+ friendly. It's one less thing to worry about. The counsellors are also licensed, trained and fully accredited with at least 3 years of experience and qualification from their state's professional board. And it's also online, which means you can take it from the comfort of your own home. A huge benefit to someone like me who really values a physical safe space. And being online also means that it's significantly cheaper than in-person counselling. Pride Counselling is legit half the cost of my previous therapist. And if you're thinking, this sounds great, but I still can't quite afford it, that is totally fine, babe. Just let you know that Pride Counselling has financial aid that you can apply for because everybody deserves good mental health. And if you don't like your counsellor for whatever reason, you can switch just like that at the click of a button. So if you'd like to find out more or sign up, you can use my link, www.pridecounselling.com/Shaaba, and you receive 10% off your first month. The link is also downstairs in the description box. Now, should we get on with the video? So people all over the world were asked what some of the biggest red flags are in men for relationships. The ones that mean you gotta run. You do a Kate Bush and you run. To the hills, up the mountain, whatever it is you need to go. And these aren't just for men. Really, they should apply to anyone, no matter what relationship that you're in. So I thought we should explore some of them right now. Because as you know, we learn a lot from the storytelling of others. It's also to expand our mindsets and it's also a little bit of fun. If you have any red flags that aren't in this video that you would like to share, you pop your little butt downstairs and you let us know in the comments. Let's get stuck into them straight away then. Someone who can't accept your accomplishments. Oh my goodness. Especially in a man-woman dynamic. You see it in TV shows. I see it in my local social circles all the time. Men just cannot stand it when the woman is breadwinner. You know, I feel like this is also just a friendship flag as well, particularly among women. I know I just said that we shouldn't be gendering things at the beginning, and it's so true, but it really is a thing that women don't support women enough. There's a need to tear down instead of lift up, and so this is definitely a big red flag to me. Don't be with someone who feels the need to compete with you or can't accept that you've accomplished your goals. Very true words. I love that. Oh, this is a spicy one. Being obsessed with being an alpha male and calling other men that they don't like or that don't fit their views beta males. Some people just say stuff like this as a joke, but I've noticed a lot of insecure men start basing their entire personality and worldviews around it. Do you know there are so many men that I could name, particularly ones that have had big platforms, but we're not going to because we don't need to give these assholes a stage. And I totally agree that this is a red flag. You see these alpha males walk into a room and you're like, no. I know first impressions aren't always everything, but 9 out of 10, this gut is right. I know I just pointed to my boob. We're just gonna ignore that. This is like straight boy TikTok. And I think in all of my time of thirsting over other people, the only alpha male that I feel like I've really found attractive, not my type anymore. Shaaba's teenage hormones were clearly doing something, but it was Kellen Lutz from Twilight. I had like a real thing for that bad boy look. Oh my god, I can't believe I've just confessed that online. But I think we're all allowed that stage where we are exploring and understanding what it is that we value and is important. What are the words those kids use these days? Simps? Is that the thing? What is that supposed to mean? When a man's overly submissive to a woman and gains nothing from it. Gains nothing from it because love and respect and equality is something that we shouldn't be gaining, apparently. Don't even ask me, but yes, big red flag. Big red flag on that one. My ex told me my best friend's boyfriend was a beta because he was being nice and attentive to her in front of us and offered to help us with things like driving us or getting food for events. According to him, being nice to your girlfriend's friends makes you a beta male, I guess. If that is what it is, then hand me a beta male. I am the proud partner of a beta. I would hope to be a beta. I would never envisage anyone being in a relationship with anyone who's not a beta based on that definition and feel like it's a healthy one. Help your person out. If they need a lift and you can drive, go. If they are hungry, feed them a chip. And it doesn't need to be for anything in return. But somewhere along the line, people forgot that being nice results to good things. And I really feel we need to get back to that. Let's move on. Oh, this is a good one. The inability to apologize. Humility is so important and the ability to grow is so important. Do not get me wrong. It doesn't mean that you should be over apologizing. Saying sorry really is one of the hardest things to do. But that is why we respect a bae who is able to do it. The one thing that really bugs me, more so than the inability to apologize, is when people then flip it and turn it onto you. Yeah, well, I may have been a dick, but it's because you were acting like this. No, no, no. If you have done a hurt hurtful thing. Sure, there may be reasons that led you up to it, but you do not excuse yourself. It is, I was a dick and I was this way because of this, but that does not excuse my actions. I am in control of myself and I should know better. We need to start making sorry a sexy word. This person knows what I'm talking about and not really apologizing. I'm sorry you felt I was being blur or doing blur, but I wasn't. Oh, these non-apologies, nologies suck. They are not apologies. And if you say things like, that's not really an apology, and then they turn around and they say to you, ow, what's with this snowflake PC, blah, 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 bullshit, put them in a bin. Oh, this is an interesting one. Is this a red flag? I get faulted at times for saying sorry too much, but I think it's far less bad to say sorry one too many times than one too little. I'm gonna add my own red flag here, and that is when people apologize without saying what they're apologizing for. It really bugs me when people go, I'm sorry, like, because they can tell that you're upset, and you're like, well, what for? That sounds like I'm being really pernickety in an argument, but sometimes I just don't understand why someone's saying sorry. So you ask for clarification, and they just go, for everything. For the way that you feel. No, that also is a red flag to me, because are you saying sorry to shut me up, or do you actually know the reason that I'm upset? Because if you know the reason, then surely you should be able to say, I'm sorry for saying this. I can totally appreciate why this would make someone feel inferior. Do you see what I mean? Comprehension. Isn't this something that we learned at school? Show you're working out. You use it when you need to, when it's important and when it's meaningful. Men who think they deserve something for being nice. Do you know, I just said that and I realised that maybe I did the dishwasher and stood there like a total lemon because I'm a messy idiot and I don't clean up very much. I waited for Jamie to come in the room and I was like, see? And he's like, what do you want? A medal? And you know what? He's right. That is absolutely a red flag. We can work on our flags. If somebody does something nice, then somebody can be like, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Which Jamie absolutely did. But absolutely, especially when this reward is something to do with the bedroom. If you are doing something, you are doing it because you feel like you want to go out of your way to do something nice for me, your partner. You then do not expect something in return. That is not okay. Oh, I've lost friendships this way. Guys just think that if we hang out, I'll magically fall in love with them and leave my current boyfriend. That sucks. My most recent example of this is not a helpful one because it was someone who I was in a relationship with previously. But seriously, dude, like, whoever you are, if someone is taken and they are monogamous, respect that fact. Part of me is like, yes, this is a total red flag. You cannot just believe that spending time with someone then obligate someone to being in a relationship with you. That is not okay. However, at the same time, if you're developing feelings for someone and that person is therefore voicing it to you, you can't really reprimand them for that. And it is true, sometimes friendships, because love is a basis of shared time and shared experience, can develop that way, and maybe it is one-sided and then maybe a friendship can't continue. I'm not at all suggesting that two people who are from groups that are or could be sexually attracted to each other cannot be friends. That's like the oldest, most cliche, annoying trope in the book, right? But is it a red flag? I'm not sure. I'm gonna leave this one to you. Feel free to pop downstairs, drop me a comment and let me know your thoughts. Oh, this one's bad. If he doesn't return the cart when grocery shopping. Do you know what it is? It speaks to a sense of entitlement. I see students do this, and to be fair, I was going to say I feel old. I was wanting to do this when I was a student too, and if it wasn't for my introverted self, very worried that I was going to get a beating from whoever I confronted, I would be shouting at every single student who went to, it was a Tesco where I used to go to uni, who went to that Tesco and stole the bloody trolleys. All the damn time. And it's so much more than a trolley. It sounds so stupid. No, seriously, this is a big red flag for me. Mostly because of the sense of entitlement, but also it's just a respect thing. Who do you think you are? You return that trolley. I consider this one of the universal red flags for anybody, along with no signalling and littering. Littering, I totally agree with. No signalling, it's a huge pet peeve for me, but would I ever consider it a red flag? No, I don't think I would. As long as they're safe, I don't consider it a red flag. Sorry, this isn't supposed to turn into some driving analysis video, but the littering thing is a big one. Oh! Immediately shutting down when you try to discuss anything deep or potentially problematic in a relationship. This is not okay. This is such a big red flag. If I broke my arm, I love my body. I love what it does for me. It's functional, it's pretty, and I would do everything I can to want to better the break in my arm. If I knew that anything at all was harming or upsetting something that I cherished, I would do my best not to harm that thing. In fact, I would do one better. I would not only try to not harm that thing, I would do everything in my power to make that thing happier. That's why we get our cats toys, right? So why should relationships be any different? I don't understand people who shy away from trying to do the right thing, or who reprimand or punish people for being vulnerable and trying to say that they are unhappy with how something is working. How could you possibly ever be angry at someone for being vulnerable? I agree. I think this is the biggest red flag. I'm not trying to just sound dramatic. If this is something that you're experiencing in a relationship of any kind, I really strongly urge anyone who's experiencing that to explore the concepts of abuse and to make sure they're not in an abusive dynamic. Being a psychopathic cat murderer? This is definitely a red flag. Do you know there are sometimes those things where you're like, some things just don't need to be said. I feel like maybe this is one of those things. That sucks, so I'm very sorry I had to go through that. If he yells at his mum, I definitely agree with this one. There are definitely times where I've shouted at my mum. I expect my child to at points shout at me. But would I expect them to do that in front of a relationship? Depends on the context, probably not. But the red flag here is the ones that are like, Ma, how dare you not wash my clothes? I told you not to bring me up drinks like that. My door was shut. Do you not respect them? Rah, 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 rah. It's a sign of not respecting women, not respecting caregivers, not respecting loved ones, and it is not something to tolerate. I grew up with a guy that screamed at his mum because she ordered pizza but forgot something when she ordered it. I mean, full on dumb at the top of his lungs. He was living at home in his mid-20s at the time. Tell me, TLC, this is not the definition of a scrub. I wasn't there for it, but I knew that the girl he was dating happened to witness it. I hope the girl he was dating was not the girl he was dating for much longer. Ooh, this is a good one. Disrespect disguised as jokes. Comedy can be hurtful, but an obvious insult followed by, I was just joking, is a coward's method to avoid confrontation. Self-deprecating humor, okay, but honestly, I've never understood jokes that are just supposed to be like funny by taking a piss. Taking a piss on someone. That is the new phrase. We do not take a piss on people. But seriously though, there are some things, especially if jokes are about marginalized communities, things that affect human rights, things that affect characteristics that people cannot control. Why are you making fun out of them? It's a sign of insecurity. I used to do it when I was an asshole little teenager, and I agree that was a big red flag that I'm very glad I grew out of. But yeah, absolutely not something I would expect someone to do in a relationship, and if I saw them do it once, I'd be like, oh, dude, bro, person, girlfriend, love of my life, that's not okay. And if they did it again, there would be problems. There is actually somebody I know who used to make horrible, deprecating jokes about marginalized communities, and every time I'd be like, that's not okay. I'm very pleased to report that person's no longer in my life. Ding. Ooh, if his last girlfriend tries to earnestly warn you, she may actually be warning you. It's another one of those things, isn't it? Girls have to lift themselves up instead of tearing people down. I would understand though the dubiousness towards someone who's an ex, especially if you've heard one side of the story and you don't think that the person that you are with was the problem in said relationship. Having said that, there are certainly scenarios where I'm like, babe, you should have listened. But also at the same time, just because something didn't work for one person doesn't mean that it's not going to work for another. However, I do love the vibe that someone might be like, this person's a cheater, this person's an abuser, this person will not respect you in this specific way. Stay away. A real good test, right? The double red flag, the snowman of flags, if you will, is if you then approach this person and you're like, hey, your ex got in touch with me and said this, and just saw their reaction. I feel like a lot can be said by how somebody responds to that. Or someone who's not able to joke about themselves. Yeah, I agree. A little bit of humility goes a long way, and it shows that you don't think that you're perfect, which I think is important in a relationship. Oh, this is a good one. How someone treats service staff. I hope this never has to happen, but if for whatever reason I'm no longer with Jamie and I'm on a date with someone and they go like this, or like, no, I would walk away. Well, no, I would give them a chance to correct it first time. I'd be like, that is not how you treat another human being, you little weirdo. And then if they did it again, I would absolutely walk away. I really respect my boss from a previous job that I had because I was a receptionist at the time and they came to me and they were just like, Shaaba, we're doing interviews today and I want to make sure that you have a big say in who we hire. They don't know. The interview process starts before the interview process starts, and so we need to know how they treat you. And I'm so glad that that was mentioned because it tells you so much about a person. Kindness does not cost a thing. Don't be a dick. It's like the number one life rule. Okay, should we do one last one? When I worked at KFC, there was a girl whose boyfriend would stay parked outside the door during her entire shift. Very big red flag. When someone goes, damn, I wish I had that much free time. The shade. That's not just a red flag. That is manipulation. That is abuse. It's one thing to want to know where somebody is. It's a totally different thing to not trust someone and to feel trapped by that person and unable to have autonomy in any way. This probably sounds very weird and controversial, but honestly what that makes me think of is a concept of cheating. Logistically, like how that would work. A sign of a healthy relationship for me would number one not be to cheat, obviously. But in terms of control, like if I was to go out and do a bad thing, something that you, a partner, would deem not acceptable, cheating on said person, I would never ever expect to be held in and to not feel physically, logistically able to do that thing. My point is, I do not expect somebody to track my location. I do not ever expect somebody to check through my phone, to look at my messages. Obviously, if they accidentally glance, that's a different thing. I would not do something like that, going out and cheating on someone. I would also never be able to hold it in. And I would expect the same from my partner. That is a relationship built on trust, where you know someone at any moment could go out and do a bad thing, but you know that they're not going to do a bad thing, and you absolutely know that if a bad thing was to be done, you would know about it. Maybe that's a weird thing to say. Is that a red flag on myself? All right, well, this was a fun video. I feel like I've learned a lot. Thank you so much, people of the world, for helping me find the red flags. I hope you maybe have learned something too, and if you'd like to share red flags of your own, please do so downstairs in the little comment section. Remember as well that pride counselling is here for you if you need it. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll see you next time with another video. Be kind and have a great day. Bye!